Recall the structure of Daniel 11, namely verses 23 through 40a. We still have some incomplete business here. Recall that we did not fully explain the structure of verses 36 through 38. The king of the north and the king of the south, or more appropriately, the king of the north's split personality. Here's the structure fully explained. The little horns attack on God in Daniel 11. Let's take it a little at a time. Recall that this is what we arrived at from a simple reading of the text of Daniel 11:36 through 38. Taking note of any similarities, repetitions in the text. Note the left half's mention of God of gods. This is clearly the God of the Bible. The king answered unto Daniel and said, Of a truth it is, that your God is a God of gods. Daniel 2:47. And the right half's mention of the God of forces. Forces would perhaps be better translated as fortresses. But a fortress is a construction of man, built for defense. God of fortresses is then symbolic of putting one's trust in man. Thus the left half concerns God, and the right half concerns man. The left half is the king of the north half, the eagle half, the eagle being associated with the north in the sanctuary, symbolic of God. Thus also the dishonor God half. While the right half is the king of the south half, the man half, man being associated with the south in the sanctuary. Thus also the honor man half. Okay, so that is all good. But what is this all talking about? What does it mean? And he shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods. Has a parallel. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. Daniel 7:25. But that's not all. The verse continues and defines these great words. And think to change times and laws. Recall we looked at this before. Recall these great words, dealing with times and laws, are speaking of the seventh-day Sabbath of God's moral law, the Ten Commandments. Returning to Daniel 11:36 through 38. So Daniel 11:36's speak marvelous things against the God of gods is paralleled by Daniel 7:25, which clearly refers to the seventh-day Sabbath. But what of our parallel section, the right half? The parallel structure implies there is a connection between adjacent sections, a connection that goes beyond the simple parallels noted thus far. In other words, the right half's honor the God of forces section is in some way connected to or related to the seventh-day Sabbath of the left half. How though? What is the connection? Critical to seeing and understanding the connection is realizing that the seventh-day Sabbath is symbolized by the number 777. The description of Sabbath in God's holy word involves a triplet of sevens. And on the seventh day, God ended his work, which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. Genesis 2:2 and 3. American culture is saturated with the idea of the apocalypse, the end of the world, and the mark of the beast. For many, hearing the number 777 will immediately bring a similar number to mind, 666. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Revelation 13:18. Placing Revelation 13:18 in the right half, Is this not a lot of assumption? Notice it says the number of a man. Indeed, Revelation 13:18 does find its place in the right half, displaying a quite natural fit, for the right half is the man's half. But what is 666, the number of the beast? And what does it have to do with the Sabbath? 666, the number of the beast, is the Sunday of man. Perfect symmetry. Not sure this connection exists? Not sure of every particularity? Let's take a look at Revelation, for the proof is there. Recall Revelation 12 and 13's days of creation, days 4 through 6, and days 6 and 7. Specifically recall day 7. 7, 7, 7. 6, 6, 6. A worship day, the seventh day Sabbath. Another worship day, an implied worship day, the number of the beast, a number of a man, connected with the sun. Not sure about that? History tells us so. Recall the magic square of the sun. That 666 is connected with the sun. Returning back to the structure of Daniel 11:36 through 38 and continuing on with its explanation,